Do y'all ever feel like things just fall apart at the last minute when you're just right there to winning? And it's like you can never just catch a break. If you feel like that, that's low-key how I've been feeling sometimes recently, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You know, sometimes it's hard to get up every day and chase a dream that doesn't really seem chaseable, if that makes sense. And that don't mean that you're not a fighter or you're a quitter or really none of that. It's just being a human, to be honest, you know? Everybody, we all have emotions. We all have limits. And I think the difference between succeeding and failing is how big your limits are. How much are you willing to go before you break? Before you call it quits, before you give up? Because everybody has a different limit. There's people who are willing to do the dirty work for years without anything in return, just for a hope to glimpse success, you know, to glimpse what they're chasing. And there's people that will probably be more realistic with their time, and you know, they'll say, instead of spending years doing this, I'd rather do something else where I can get a return on my investment a lot sooner. And I really don't think there's anything wrong with either of those like types of personalities. It's just a matter of finding out who you are and really trying to lock in what you really want to get out of life, depending on the type of personality you are. Athletes spend their whole life chasing something that the odds are actually against athletes winning. You know what I mean? You think of all the people who dedicate their whole life. They play high school ball. They grow up. Their parents put them into a sport. They play in high school. They play in college. And a majority of them will never play professionally. You know, especially in these big leagues like the MLB, the NBA, like soccer. Like, yeah, there's alternatives like going overseas and all these things, but the dream is, you know, I mean, the big leagues. You want to play for a big team, you want to make millions, and I don't know if a lot of them have good lives after, but it's not the norm. It's not the guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that you play good, you play your cards right, and you go. You know, the odds are somebody's out there with bigger pockets than you, and they're gonna get your spot. Do they deserve it more than you? That's up for debate. Depends on your skill level. But even if you're better than that person, you know, sometimes you can buy your way into these higher positions. And the example is those people spend their whole life chasing something, and in the end, they don't even get it. And is anything wrong with that? No. Because at least they tried. At least at the end of the day, they can tell their kids, you know what I mean? I tried my best. I made these accomplishments like during my sports career, and unfortunately, I didn't make it. And nothing's wrong with that. You have a story to tell. At least you're satisfied. You know, deep down, you gave life your all, and you just didn't come out successful. And there's multiple different things you can do after the fact. You know, a lot of these people go on to be successful, open a business. You can be a coach. Like, although they didn't reach the pinnacle of what they were shooting for, they still ended up with something. You know what I mean? So sometimes that's all it's about. It's not about the goal that you set, but sometimes it's about the journey. It's about the things you learned along the ways. The things you learned along the way. I don't know why I said the ways. And how you can use that to be a productive human being in society. How can you use the skills that you gain over all these years of playing a sport to then, you know what I mean, give back, better another life? How can you provide value? And I mean, I ain't no college athlete for sure. I'll tell y'all that right now. I played in high school. I was alright, but our school wasn't even known for sports. You know, there was a couple fiends on the baseball team and stuff. One of my boys went D1. So, you know, there's levels to it, and it can be depressing. I see a lot of like forums and stuff where athletes talk about that, like the depression after college, after you spend your whole life chasing something and you didn't get it, and you have to find an alternative route. You got to go to corporate route or something because you just don't make it. That's just the reality of things. And on the flip side, there's people who just want a quick outcome or something more feasible. Instead of saying, oh, I'm gonna dedicate my whole life to going to the NBA, they'll say, I'm gonna go to college or something. You're gonna take the safer route. There's risky and safer routes, and a lot of people take safer routes, and nothing is wrong with that. If you don't have that high tolerance for risk, you know what I mean, find something safer. Go to college, get a degree in a high paying field, and I mean, the odds are you're more than likely to get a job in that field. Right now, it's a little iffy, but in general, you're more likely to go to college and get a livable job off your degree versus going to the NBA. You know, because you think of the thousands of people that are shooting for the NBA every single year. Odds are, man, there's gonna be somebody out there better than you. And if you don't have the gut to accept that you're not the best, but you need to be the best at what you're doing to play this person. If you don't got that dog, then you gotta go the safe route. I went the safe route. I went to college. You know what I mean? Because I knew that I just wanted a degree. And how is it turning out so far? I decided that I no longer want to play it safe. I want to dedicate my time to something to where it's like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get a return on investment. I don't know if this YouTube channel is ever going to just pop off and really make it. I have a big dream, and I've seen a lot of people chase this dream, but the reality is the odds are against me. There's so many people posting content every single day. Why are people gonna watch my video? You know, I think I have a cool car, but to a lot of people, it's just an old Acura. Like, what is the incentive? What can I provide? And that's why I just try a bunch of different things. I talk about different things. Over the year, I bought different cameras, you know what I mean? Trying to find what works best for me, what's easiest for me to perfect, and how can I perfect it? How can I take this craft to the next level? And I'm a safe player. Like, even though I'm taking this risk with my time, you know, it's not the riskiest thing to do. There's people putting thousands of dollars into businesses, like taking a big leap, but I personally don't have that risk level. My boy Gene was successful in Amazon, and now he's moving on to another business endeavor. And make sure y'all go check out the link in his bio. It's gonna be in the description. But you know what I mean, through his journey of Amazon, he had to get, you know, funding for his business and all this stuff. And now that he been there and done that, now he can teach it to other people. And that's just a benefit of taking a hard route. You learn things along the way that people who are scared to do, you can teach them. And he gave me all the sauce. But I ain't gonna lie, being a safe player, I just couldn't stomach the risk. And I would give myself excuses, and I'd feel bad. Like, I'd talk to him, and deep down, I'd be like, damn, bruh. Because I know he's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. And he's thinking, why haven't I started yet? Because we have these talks, we go through all these things, but that's just life, bruh. You know what I mean? You gotta assess your risk. And the good thing is, right, I mean, he's not forcing me to do it. And that's the difference between, you know, somebody that's a good friend or not. Because you gotta understand, not everybody is gonna be on that time. And he gave me the sauce, and he left up to me to make the decision. And ultimately, I did not make the decision. I did not pursue it. Do I wish I had? I don't know. It's cool, but the upfront cost, I just wasn't at the point in life to make the investment needed to get the business started, to lock in, to get the funding that I needed. You know what I mean? You get the funding and you buy the products, you gotta make the revenue back to pay off those things. And just thinking of all the overhead that I have to like pay off and all this stuff, it just made me anxious, bro. I couldn't just do it. Now I don't feel bad at all, because now I realize, you know, I mean, there's different people in life. There's people that's gonna take the risk, and there's people in the middle like me. Like, I didn't start an Amazon business, but I'm investing all my time in YouTube right now, and this is time that I could be spent like at my job, making more money, picking up shifts. Like, I'm making more money at my job than I am gonna make on YouTube off this video, but I'm gonna still prioritize this because I know that in the future my earnings on YouTube could pass what I'm making outside of this, and that's just a risk that I'm taking every single day, editing every single day, time away from things that I normally would do, like having fun with my friends playing the game. Bro, the other day I started having back on the game now because I'm trying to organize my time better, and I realized, like, yo, I miss this. I miss playing with my boy. These are things that I sacrificed for the last 2 months just to get a steady footing, because I told myself I was gonna post every single day, and to do that, you know what I mean, I had to give up some fun and a lot of time, and time is the most valuable thing you get in life, and I took that risk, and I mean, we'll see where it goes. If the worst case I don't make it on YouTube, at least I knew I don't really lose nothing, and that's where I'm comfortable drawing the line. You know what I mean? If worst case I'm like, damn, at least I got these cool videos to watch, I'ma still use the camera and stuff regardless if I was making YouTube videos or not. So my worst case is not even a worst case for real, you know? And that's what I'm comfortable with. And you gotta realize in life that there's things you're comfortable with and not, and you gotta find what risk you're comfortable taking and just dive into it, y'all. Not everything you see on the internet is gonna be your life. You gotta think about it. These people are posting things on the internet, it's perfected. Sometimes it's not natural. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes when people are like making videos. There's a lot of things that happen that you don't see, and it's for a reason, because a lot of times they're keeping up a persona. The point of this rant is just find out what you can fully invest your time in, what you're comfortable doing, and just go full send into it. Because I think the world is getting to this point where the people that benefit the most are risk takers, and that varies, you know? It's like a muscle. The more risks you take, the more often you get out your comfort zone, the easier it's gonna be to take more risks in the future. And if you're somebody who's not used to taking risks, it's gonna be hard at first. It was hard to get this camera and be like, yo, I'm gonna lock in, because I mean, I like the idea of making it on YouTube, but nobody talks about the idea of editing all the videos, actually having to go record every single day. It's fun for the first week, and then you're gonna get to that point where it's like, is this even worth it? I'm not getting no views on my channel. Am I just wasting my time? And only time will tell if you are, you know? But as of now, I don't feel like I wasted my time, because people enjoy my videos, and I didn't know I was gonna get this many people commenting and stuff. So in my eyes, it's paying off. I'm very happy with what I've succeeded so far with. Everything you do in life is a risk. So don't think that just because you take the comfortable route that you're not a go-getter. You just have different priorities, and nothing is wrong with that. Everybody isn't gonna be a successful business person. Everybody isn't gonna be social media famous. Oh shit, I had my signal on, I was wilding. But yeah, everybody can't do everything. You going to college is taking a risk. You're investing 4 years of your life in hope that you're gonna get a job after it's gonna be worth it. And sometimes you're not going to. I mean, the economy is cooked right now. A lot of people out of college aren't getting jobs in their field. And that's just a risk you took. You took a risk, and sometimes the investment doesn't pay it off. Just because it's a safer risk doesn't mean it's not a risk. So don't beat yourself down because you're not doing all these things that you see are happening on the internet. A lot of that stuff is not the norm. I had a lot of opportunities that I turned down because I wanted something better, and in hindsight, I should have took it. Man, I should have took that thing, bro. And that's life. You make decisions, and not all of them are gonna be right, and you just gotta live with it. And I ain't gonna lie, it be eating me alive sometimes, bro. It do. Like, the worst thing is living a life of regret, and it's hard because I'm an overthinker. So when I make decisions and it don't turn out how I imagine it to be, I'm like, damn, bro, if only I had knew, I would have made this decision. And then I'll try to do damage control, but sometimes it's too late. You got to make a decision and just live with the outcome, no matter what happens. Because you learned, you made a bad call, and that's life. There's nothing wrong with that. Wars were fought over bad calls. Think about this. Millions of people die or died, or they're probably still dying. Yeah, millions of people died or dying right now because of bad calls that somebody else made. So is your bad call really that bad in the grand scheme of things? I don't think so. I don't think my bad call is that bad, you know? I'm young, I'm alive. I woke up today with the breath of life. I got 2 eyes that I can see out of. I can make the content that I want to make. So in the grand scheme of things, my bad call was not that bad at all. Thank you, dude. It's something that I can learn from and that I can talk about now on camera. And I hope every one of y'all that are listening so far is having a really good day. The rain fell, and I thought it was gonna fall more because the snow is still here. Why is the snow still here, guys? I don't know. I don't like the snow. I don't want the snow here. It's fun for the first day, and then it's like, okay, you need to go. Yeah, I mean, it's taking up the parking spots on the street. I be parking on the street. You gotta be backing up over ice and all this stuff. It's annoying. Now it looks all dirty and just, oh my gosh, just get rid of it. I don't want the snow here no more, y'all. But it doesn't look like this rain is gonna get rid of all of the snow, unfortunately. So we gotta hope the next time the rain falls, it falls damn good. But for the people that watch my videos like a podcast, man, I love that. I love that y'all just listen to me yap, bro, and let me know what topics y'all want me to yap about. Guys, don't be quiet. Say stuff in the comments. Say what y'all want to hear, and I'll talk about it. I'm down to talk about anything, give my opinion, because I think that's my value that I offer, my opinion. I lived life a good enough time to where I have, I think, solid takes on things. And if people don't like what I say, that just opens up the room for discussion in the comments. So where you talk about why your opinion is different, and we go from there. That's really what life is about, having a conversation. And not everything has to be an argument or a big disagreement. It's just conversation, man. People are growing up in different situations, and not everybody is going to agree with me, and I'm fine with that. But let's talk about it, because you can learn a lot from people. And that's what I noticed growing up. I moved around a lot, so I'm used to being around different types of people. And a simple conversation goes a long way, because you can learn a lot from somebody who grew up different from you, man. So make sure y'all just taking life with a grain of salt and be open ears. Listen more than you speak, and you learn a lot going through life, y'all. But y'all, we about to go get gas right now. The parking lot is empty, so I'm gonna end this video right here before I go over there. Thank you for watching the video. If you made it this far, like and subscribe. Travel and buy a TSX if you haven't done that already. And what else is there? Keep trying. Don't give up on life. Whatever you do, whether big or small, set a goal and shoot for it. You shoot for the stars, you might end up on the moon. You never know. You only live one life, so just make the most out of it. Whether you fail or win, you have a story to tell. You made an experience, and that's the main thing in life. Learning, becoming a better person, y'all. I'ma catch y'all, man. Peace.